Angie has made it easier than ever to hire high-quality pros to get all your home service jobs done well. Just bring them your project online or with the Angie app, answer a few questions, and Angie will connect you with local pros who match your specific needs. Or book a service instantly at an upfront price. So join the millions of homeowners who use Angie to care for their homes and get your next home service job done well. Download the free Angie mobile app today or visit Angie.com. That's ANGI.com. Angie has made it easier than ever to hire high-quality pros to get all your home service jobs done well. Just bring them your project online or with the Angie app, answer a few questions, and Angie will connect you with local pros who match your specific needs. Or book a service instantly at an upfront price. So join the millions of homeowners who use Angie to care for their homes and get your next home service job done well. Download the free Angie mobile app today or visit Angie.com. That's ANGI.com.
Your neighbor friend.
Yes.
Is he available to speak to me?
I did give you a notarized statement from him.
No, I want to talk to him. Give Rich a call. Get Rich on the line.
You want me to?
Yes, sure do.
This is the plaintiff, David Williams. He says he bought a Crown Victoria from the defendant, but couldn't register it because the title wasn't notarized. The defendant swore up and down he'd straighten things out, but hasn't, and now won't return his money because the car is worthless to him without a title. He's here in the name of justice and seeks the return of his hard-earned $4,730. This is the defendant, John. He says he did send the title to the plaintiff and thought that was that. About a month later, the guy calls him and says he no longer wants the car and he wants his money back. He doesn't know what planet the plaintiff thinks he's living on, but this is Mother Earth, and things just don't work that way down here. He's accused of this not being his crowning moment. The defendant has filed a countersuit for $5,660 for storage fees.
All parties, please raise your right hand.
What you are about to witness is real. The participants are not actors. They are actual litigants with a case pending in civil court. Both parties have agreed to drop their claims and have their cases settled here before Judge Marilyn Millian in our forum, the People's Court.
Be seated. Come to order, please. Litigants have been sworn, Your Honor.
Thank you, Douglas.
You're welcome, ma'am.
Okay, David Williams, you are suing John's company. John, you've asked us not to mention your last name or the company name, and we'll respect that, for $4,730 that you want refunded to you because you bought a car and never got it. Tell me what happened. Oh, I'm sorry, and you have a counterclaim against him for almost $6,000 for storage because he never picked up the car. All right, talk to me first. You tell me your side. What happened?
I met him through my neighbor, and he had a car that I liked, and I asked him about it, and he said that he knew somebody, John, that had cars as similar, and I said, I'd be interested.
Okay, what kind of car was it?
It was a Crown Victoria.
Like the kinds the cops have?
2005.
Okay, go ahead.
And
the price then was going to be what, $4,500?
$4,500.
All right. Now you didn't live the car. Where are you located?
Philadelphia, Pennsylvania.
Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. And where are you located?
In Belmont, New York.
Okay. All right. So what was your plan? How were you going to get the car?
Never happened because what part of the negotiation was that the money was transferred down and he was supposed to send the title back. And then he did send the title back almost a month later.
Did it take you a month to send the title back?
It was sent back the next morning, Your Honor. I had the title notarized the day that I received the money in my bank account. The next morning, I had it priority mailed to him.
Do you have the proof of mailing?
I don't have the proof of mailing, but I got the notarized title that I sent to him. He acknowledged that he received it.
You mean a copy of it, right?
No, this is the original. This is the title.
Why? That came back to you?
He mailed it back to me a month later.
And what did he say?
He says, I want a refund. I bought another car.
Okay, let me see that. All right, according to you, what happened? This is in 2011?
Yes.
Where's the car now?
It's still sitting at the storage facility.
What are you doing with it?
It's sitting there racking up storage charges.
Are you serious?
Yes, ma'am.
Let me see that. All right, so now, okay, you tell me what you say happened. According to you, he's supposed to send you the title, he sends it a month late, and then what? When was the contract signed? It says June 23rd.
And when I got the title, which I got back around the 29th
on June 22nd. So then you send this to him according to you, which is immediate. And when you got it, what was the problem? Why am I here? Why didn't you pick up the car?
Well, the big problem was that when I went to the Motor Vehicle Bureau with the title, his signature was there, but she said that you need a signature with a notarized.
It was notarized.
It wasn't notarized.
At the time, it wasn't notarized?
I tell you, if I got that notarized, I'd have grabbed it.
All right, so according to you, it comes unnotarized and you send it back to him and you say what to him?
I need it notarized and the other necessary work that was supposed to go with it.
Okay, so you tell him that, and how do you tell him that? On the phone or through email or what?
It was a conversation that we had. Do
you have phone records so I can see when this stuff is taking place?
I have only emails that was...
You have emails? Let me see the emails. So go on. According to you, you send this back to him. And you tell him this needs to be notarized, and what does he do?
I didn't get anything back from him.
Ever in 4 years?
No.
This all happened in 2011. We're in 2015. It took you 4 years to sue. Why? Why did it take you 4 years to sue?
Well, he got sick.
Who got sick?
He got sick.
Okay.
From what I understand, he had a heart attack or something. And I only had one email conversation with his wife. From then on, I just figured that he was still sick, and he would call me when he's well.
Will somebody please tell me what is going on? What's going on?
Your Honor, I mailed him title, as I said, on the 23rd. He received...
Yeah, 23rd of what?
Of June 2011.
Okay, so according to you, then what happens? You send down the title right away, and he says or does what?
On the 29th of June, after he received the title, he mailed it back to me by FedEx.
Mailed it back to you and said what?
Said, I want a refund.
Is that on there? Is there like a note or something that says I want a refund?
It might be.
Do you have anything in writing that would prove to me that he wanted a refund and that everything he's saying is a lie?
This is a letter dated July 23rd, 2011, that I sent him a response to him sending me the title back.
Let me see that. Who's Rich Horan?
He's the neighbor.
Okay. One of the emails he has is an email from you to that neighbor where you say to him, I'm sorry I haven't gotten back to you sooner. We are filming in Balto. I'm sorry that Dave is breaking your... And then he says, part of your anatomy. I'm trying to help him, but he sent the damn papers signature required, so FedEx refused to leave it under the door. Who's movie props?
I don't know.
Who's movie props?
He does that type of work, too.
He does that. Who's movie props?
I don't know, Your Honor.
Who's movie autos?
I don't know.
Who's movie autos?
I don't know anybody by that name.
Who are you people? It says they brought it down with my other mail, but I haven't been back in Philly during the day when the tax service is open to get his forms notarized. I'll see what I can do. Thanks, Sarge. Who's Sarge?
That's my nickname.
Okay, well...
But I didn't write that. I don't know who that is, and I didn't write that.
What is your version of this, that he just never sent back the title notarized?
Yes. I mailed him a letter asking him which way he's going to go, as far as I wanted the car or give me the money back. And that was in August of 2013. It was addressed to his business address is 4301. It was refused.
Why was a letter addressed to your business refused?
I have no idea.
FedEx.
Your neighbor friend.
Yes.
Is he available to speak to me?
I did give you a notarized statement from him.
No, I want to talk to him. Give Rich a call. Get Rich on the line.
You want me to?
Yes, sure do.
Your Honor.
Yep.
May I give you this in reference to that phone call? It's a letter from Rich Horan in reference to this.
Okay. Is it did you have an affidavit from Rich Horan?
A notarized statement.
Can I have his notarized? Can I have what both of you say Rich is going to say before we call Rich?
That's a letter that Mr. Williams introduced as evidence in his suit in Philadelphia.
Against you?
Yes.
On this case?
Yes.
Okay, but why are you giving it to me? What's it supposed to prove?
It's showing that Mr. Haran, it has no relevance to the case other than the fact that he's biased in his opinion because the letter doesn't have any evidence. It's merely a derogatory
You're looking
statement
worse
about
every
me.
second. Get that man on the phone. I'm also in the affidavit that this gentleman's not going to say good things about you. I am also in a position to expand further about the credibility of Sarge, as he has made some serious issues with myself and one county agency and one state agency. Do you know what he's talking about?
Partial.
Hold on, Rich.
Amended.
Okay, fabulous. Does he? Why don't you tell him what's going on?
Yeah.
Never mind. Just hearing the phone.
I'd rather you talk to him.
No worries.
Yeah,
hold on.
one
Hang
second.
on.
Hold on.
He won't.
Does he know you're here? Hi, is this Mr. Haran? This is Judge Milian from the People's Court.
Okay. Yeah, I know your show.
Okay. So anyway, a gentleman by the name of David Williams is suing a gentleman by the name of John, a.k.a. Sarge, in my courtroom. Were you aware of that or no?
Yes, I'm aware of it.
Okay. It sounds to me like there's some questions, and I don't know who to believe here, and I don't know what's going on, and I need to ask you some questions if you don't mind. You know we're filming this, right?
That's fine.
Okay, good. What happened here?
What had happened was I had located Sarge. I purchased a Crown Victoria from him, a 2003 Crown Victoria. I went down to Pennsylvania, picked it up from him, and I usually would meet him like by supposedly a movie area where he kept all of his movie like props, ambulances.
Why movie props?
The vehicle I purchased was a movie prop. So basically, it was in a movie, no longer needed, and I purchased it.
What is movie? Can I ask a question? There's an email address involved here. Movie autos at. Who does that belong to?
That belongs to Sarge.
Okay, go on.
Okay, and what had happened was I purchased this vehicle, and I purchased two vehicles from him. And everything seemed all right. So I went back home, and Dave happens to be my neighbor. So David said, "That's a really nice car. You know where I can get Crown Victoria." So I said yes. So Dave and Sarge managed to, be hooked up by me because Sarge had said, "I have this vehicle that I'd like to sell." Dave wired him, believe it or not, the whole entire amount.
I know.
Okay. Which
The rest
to
of us
me-
have our jaws dropping over that.
Yeah, which to me, to know Dave, he is one of the kind of guys that will trust anybody.
He's kind of naive, isn't he?
Yes, and he's got a good heart. So what had happened was, in the meantime, I turned around and bought another vehicle from this guy.
This guy being Sarge?
Yes. I go get this vehicle, and Sarge had guaranteed that the car he had a mechanic look at it. Coming over the Arizona Bridge, I had no brakes. My lieutenant had to go in front of me to try to stop me from hitting everybody on the Verrazano Bridge. Okay, that car was taken to the Nassau County Police Department where they totaled it because the car was rotted out. I started to realize there was a problem. I wound up getting a call from the Department of Motor Vehicle. The Department of Motor Vehicle said, "Who sold this vehicle?" So they did an investigation, and they went looking for Sarge because he sold the vehicle with an altered title. So basically, Dave had received documents from Sarge. It wasn't properly executed.
Was it notarized?
No, definitely not.
Okay. And did you ever attempt to intercede between him and Sarge and try to get help for him?
All the time.
Did you, when you would try to communicate with Sarge, did you email him at movieautos at?
Yes.
You're standing here telling me this isn't your email?
He's the one that made that up, Your Honor. Of course he's going to say that
Who,
to
the
me.
auxiliary officer? He made that up?
Well, he's also said that he was a Homeland Security officer. He's actually an insurance salesman.
What is your business, sir?
I'm an insurance underwriter.
And what is your relationship with the police department?
I'm a sergeant for the Auxiliary Police Department and deputy commanding officer.
There you go. Okay. So do you ever have a conversation with Sarge where he says, "I'm going to refund the guy's money"?
It was via email. And I can tell you it's via email because I might be able to reproduce that email.
Oh, darling, I'm going to take a little, you know what, I'm not even going to take a little recess, because if I take a little recess, I think Sarge will flee.
Welcome back to the People's Court. Harvey Levin here. So do people who sell used cars typically lie about the condition of the vehicle?
I would say so. I mean, it's just business.
It's human nature, you say?
Yes.
Okay?
Look, if you're not lying, you're not trying. So I bet they're lying about the used car.
What do you say?
I say yes, they're lying. They usually lie.
Why do they lie?
They just want to sell it.
Have you ever sold a used car?
No, I've never.
If you sold one, would you lie?
I don't.
Okay. Oh yeah. We know. Going inside the courtroom.
Let me ask you a question, okay? Why does David Williams wait 4 years to pursue this in court?
Okay, why?
Yeah.
They went back and forth and back and forth. In the meantime, also, Sarge had stated he had a heart attack via his wife.
Did you have a heart attack?
No, ma'am.
Did you have your wife say you had a heart attack?
I've been divorced for 2.5 years.
Let me see the emails from the wife that say he had a heart attack. Is that up here?
Up there. Only one.
I don't think he's crafty enough to make
Only
up
one.
these emails from a third party.
These
I really
stories-
don't. He doesn't strike me as a crafty guy.
Anybody can fabricate that, Your Honor.
They could, just not that guy.
No, the guy on the phone. The guy on the phone.
I don't think that guy can fabricate that. I think you're a liar. That's what I think. I don't think for 1 second that Crown Victoria is sitting around collecting, storage fees. I don't buy this at all.
Here's the pictures proving the car's still there.
Nah, I'm sure you're using it. I'm kind of ready to rule. Thank you so much. I'm gonna slam this little.
What's your name again?
Judge Marilyn Milian from the People's Court.
All right, yeah.
All right, darling. Bye-bye. Okay. Put that back. Okay, my friend. I would stake my children's lives that this notary did not happen on June 22nd, a day before the purported bill of sale. Because what you are is a rip-off artist, okay? I am going to rule in favor of the plaintiff in this case in the amount of the $4,500 plus the other $230 is for what?
The 2 round trips I made down to Pennsylvania.
All right, $4,730, verdict for the plaintiff. 0 on your counterclaim.
Here comes one of the most busted litigants in people's court history.
It is what it is.
What is that?
He had a witness on the phone that lied on his behalf. I don't think Mr. Williams had any ill will, but I know that he had a gentleman lie for him.
Who told the truth in court?
Yes, I did.
Okay, that's it from here. Over to Harvey.
Kurt, the judge was so smart in figuring this out. Gotta say, in small claims court, there are liberties that the judge can take in testimony, like calling somebody on the phone. In a court of a larger jurisdiction, that would never happen. That will do it for this case. Litigants for the next case of the way into the courtroom right now.
Angie has made it easier than ever to hire high-quality pros to get all your home service jobs done well. Whether it's routine maintenance, an emergency repair, or a dream project, Angie lets you compare quotes from multiple local pros, browse homeowner reviews, and even book a service instantly. Angie's been connecting people with skilled pros for nearly 30 years. So the next time you have a home project, bring it to Angie to get your job done well. Download the free Angie mobile app today or visit Angie.com. That's ANGI.com.
This is the plaintiff, Devin Cade. He says he's been a paralegal for the past 3 years, and the defendant hired him to get some of his previous arrest records expunged from the courts. He told him he'd be charging him whether he was successful or not, and the guy hasn't paid him for his services. Well, he's here to let the judicial process work itself out through this court, and is suing for the $745 he's owed. This is the defendant, Martin Moses. He says the plaintiff called him looking for business and told him he wanted to help him with a civil case he had coming up. The guy told him he could get his past arrests expunged from the record and told him they were family. He never once said there would be a fee for this and is now trying to hustle him for money, plain and simple. He's accused of having an arresting personality.
All parties, please raise your right hands.
Welcome back to the People's Court. Next case on the docket, the plaintiff says the defendant hired him to get some arrest records expunged and he never got paid, but the defendant says it was all gratis. It's the case of I'm the best at arrests.
Thank you, Douglas.
You're welcome.
Devin Cade?
Yes.
You are suing Martin Moses for $745 that you say he owes you for paralegal work that you did on some of his cases. Mm-hmm. What's going on?
I actually spoke to the defendant through Facebook, social media, and basically to do paralegal
Who
work.
contacted who?
I contacted him.
Okay, how did you know to contact him?
Well, actually, I talked to his mother, and she said, well, Martin had got arrested a few times. Maybe you can contact him to see if he could use your service.
Okay.
To get some cases that he had prior expunged.
Okay, so what happened? And why was he now why was it important to him now?
He was seeking a pardon from the Board of Pardons and then ultimately the governor.
What was your criminal charge that you were seeking a pardon on?
To tell you the truth, Judge Millian, I don't know what's going on.
Why did you want him to help you?
I never wanted him to help me. He called me and offered for my help. Basically,
And why did you say no?
He's a friend of the family. I knew him all my life since I was little. I haven't seen him in 20 years, though.
Why did you want him to help you? Why was it important to you now? What was going on?
The reason that I wanted him to help me because he said he had a civil. I had an arrest with an officer, and then they had corruption charges, and he said I could build a civil case against them. The officer was never found guilty. They just got found not guilty 3 weeks ago. As soon as they got found not guilty, he sent me a text message to my phone saying that you don't have a case, basically because they beat the charges.
So he tells you that if he clears up these expungements, it'll look better in that civil case?
Yes, exactly.
So in other words, he's a salesman.
Right.
Right. And you bought it and now you regret it?
Yes, I do. Yes, I do regret it.
Yes. What did you buy it for? How much were you supposed to pay him?
No, he told me not to worry about the criminal case at all. He said we'd get a nice amount of money from this civil case that against these officers.
Are you drumming up a civil lawsuit that wasn't even there?
Yes.
No.
Did you file these petitions?
Yes.
Did you
sign
sign
And they were
it?
all granted.
So who signed them?
I did.
As him? Or as you? Because you can't practice law, so how were they signed?
Well, I notified him that I was going to...
Forge his signature?
Not forge his signature.
You asked him for permission to write his name down as though he was signing them?
Absolutely.
You don't think that this might be a little bit of a problem?
No.
According to you, you're supposed to be paid how much?
Actually, it's supposed to be $500 for the expungements, and then I filed 2 additional things. One, a motion to vacate a bail judgment that
What are
he
you
had.
doing filing motions? That certainly sounds like lawyer work. You can't file motions.
Yeah, and yes, we can. Paralegal file motions all the time. Paralegals in Pennsylvania have handled divorce.
Let me see the motion you filed. How come you can't put your name to it?
Because it doesn't have a space.
No, it's not because it doesn't have space. It's not a space issue. It's because you can't file the motions for him. In capital letters, must be completed by the petitioner. But it wasn't, right? It was completed by you?
Correct.
And then it's not his signature. It's you signing it?
Yes.
Yeah, that is not kosher, not in Philadelphia and not anywhere else, okay? But in any event, he did give you permission, according to you, to sign this.
Yes.
And you don't deny that.
Yes, but I didn't know the process of it. He's a lawyer. I don't know nothing about
He's
that.
not a lawyer.
Oh, okay, I'm sorry.
I'm a
No, wait,
paralegal.
you see?
He
But
told
you
me
see-
he was a lawyer.
Did he
No,
tell
I
you he
didn't.
was a lawyer?
I got Facebook messages, plenty of messages on my phone
I'd like
saying
to see them.
he's
I
a
do
lawyer.
too.
Let
He's
me
running
see
for
them.
judge and everything like
Let
that.
me see them. I'd like to see them. Because this is the very reason why what you're telling me doesn't sound kosher is because people are led to believe that they're dealing with a lawyer.
But also, going back to your... Okay. And going back to your question earlier, what arrest that he was found guilty on was theft by receiving stolen property. Another
How many
one was a drug
convictions
case.
do you have?
Probably about a good 8 or 7.
Okay. I mean, I'm looking at Facebook posts where you're discussing price with him before he files this stuff. How can you say that this was a favor? Because actually, it says, it'll cost you, I can do it, but it'll cost you. To file your expungement will be $500, and I need X, Y, and Z. And you, let's do it.
And he agreed, Your Honor, on multiple occasions.
Don't talk. This is not your chance to be a lawyer in my courtroom. I have your court date info, and you say, thanks. How much is it again?
Yes.
Yeah, so when did you decide you weren't going to pay him?
It's just that when I spoke to him on the phone, I told him my financial situation was a little tight. So he told me basically just focus on the civil case. When you get the civil case, you should get a nice amount of money. You can give me a nice amount when you get that.
That's lovely.
Yeah. So
that's illegal, right?
What?
You getting a cut of a civil case that you foment?
But he said
Now,
since he was buying a crib.
Mr. Moses, when did he tell you he was a lawyer, according to you?
Yes, he said he was running for a judge. I'm sorry.
Let me see.
Okay.
What does that have to do with anything?
Okay.
Are you running for judge?
I was. And I have...
there's no question pending, Counselor. Wow, he's quite the salesman. Have you been paying attention? You need a PCRA hearing. You still need a redaction hearing. You need a governor's pardon. Yeah, but I don't even know what all that is. It's just legal jargon, but you will need additional work. I still need to get a signed contract for your civil rights case. Really?
Had me scared. Had you scared? Had me scared.
But you wanted me to go forward with it.
I am going to direct your legal bills to be $1,800 and $200, which is $2,000. The $1,800 will be due when your lawsuit award is awarded. The $200 will be due within 30 days. I spoke to the DA. Did you speak to a DA? Because DAs don't usually speak to paralegals.
Assistant DA. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And it was basically about all of the officers that were charged in a federal indictment.
The big problem here is that you thought there would be a payday at the end of a lawsuit against the officers. And when the officers got acquitted, there was no longer a payday. But I can see from the Facebook posts that the original agreement was $500. So if that's what happened, then why should I do anything other than order you to pay the $500 you had agreed on beforehand?
If he had paperwork, I would like that. I'll let it see, because I
send it to them,
I
Your
talk to
Honor.
my lawyer all the time, so I would,
What'd your lawyer say about this?
My lawyer said basically, just come here looking nice and be nice to the judge, and I should be all right.
No, I meant, what did your lawyer say about that? Yeah, it gets us every time. What did your lawyer say about that?
So this paralegal forged documents. Is he in trouble?
Absolutely.
Criminal?
Criminal, yes.
You think it's criminal if he says, look, I was doing it because the other guy wanted me to? Is that a defense?
No, it isn't. No, it's definitely
So
not.
you could prosecute somebody for this?
Oh, that's too much of democracy, I think.
Too much democracy. I love too much democracy. I love that. You sound like Arnold, by the way. Wow, going inside the courtroom.
He said to me, don't worry about this criminal case at all. Don't even worry about it. Just worry about the civil case. So I'm sorry, as you said, Judge Millian, he's waiting for the civil case. He thought he was going to get a nice amount of money, and it didn't fall out like he was supposed to fall out.
Your Honor.
Right, but I don't want to hear another word from you. But despite the fact that I find him irritating because I am worried that what he is doing is crossing the line.
Right.
Mr. Cade?
Yes.
I wanted to ask you, when did you become a paralegal?
3 years ago.
Okay, and what did you have to do in order to get your paralegal degree?
I didn't go to any formal schooling. I went to a lot of different trainings to do that.
Do you have a paralegal certificate or whatever your state requires?
No. I do have an undergrad degree in business administration. But
That's lovely. That doesn't allow you to be a fraud, and you can't be a paralegal, and you can't call yourself a paralegal, and you can't do legal work. There's no question in my mind that scoundrel agreed to pay you $500 to do what you do, but you don't have the authority, and I am not going to order him to pay you. What you did was practice law. You can't practice law. All that stuff is not okay.
That's fine.
Verdicts for the defendant.
Wow, that had to be like a cold shower. What happened when hearing that from the judge?
I think the judge is wrong.
About what?
The state law says that you have to be in the legal profession for 5 years to do paralegal work. I've been doing this for 11 years.
Okay, what are you going to do differently when you leave this courtroom?
Double check the state requirements as a paralegal.
Okay.
And I think the defendant, is full.
Right this way.
How you doing, sir?
Was that a legal term?
I'm sure it wasn't. I'm sure it wasn't, but I felt confident about the case. My lawyer told me about the case, and the judge, she definitely seemed like she was real confident about the decision. So How could you go wrong with that? But, just tell them to send me a bill or something in my mailbox. I'll buy them some shoes and a new outfit. Because, you come to see Judge Million. You shouldn't do that like that. You shouldn't come see her looking like that way.
Right. Harvey? Actually, when I was first a lawyer, I did this for the American Bar Association, where we spent a lot of time on this. Paralegals are not allowed to practice law. And in many states, it's a crime. But they can write things down like a secretary would, but they are not allowed to use the skill and judgment of a lawyer. And if you got somebody doing that, you should really watch out. That will do it for this case. Litigants for the next case on the way into the courtroom right now.
These are the plaintiffs, Kathleen DeMichelle and Linda Berlin. Kathleen says the defendant, her former tenant, all but wrecked her beautiful house she rented to her, and today's judgment day. That's right, the filthy woman left the place a deplorable mess. She has the pictures to prove it and is suing for every single penny of the $3,000 they're owed. This is the defendant, Elena DiTullio. She says the plaintiff, Kathleen, is a cruel and cold-hearted person who had her evicted in the middle of her and her husband splitting up. She owes this woman nothing but a good riddance, and she thinks the judge is going to side with her when all the evidence is presented in this court today. She's accused of leaving the place a mess.
All parties, please raise your right hand.
Welcome back to the People's Court. Next case on the docket, the plaintiff says the defendant's a pig who is the worst tenant ever. But the defendant says the plaintiff, Catherine, is pure evil. It's the case of you're worster than me.
Okay, Ms. DeMichelle and Ms. Berlin, you are suing Ms. DiTullio for $3,000, a statutory maximum in your state, for damages and back rent that, according to you, she owes you. Who would like to tell me what happened here?
Yes, Your Honor. We had rented a lease agreement to Elena and her husband, Mark, May 1st, 2014 to April 30th, 2015. We evicted her, and she moved out on April 1st due to lack of rent payment.
Okay, may I see the lease? And she hadn't paid since when?
She stopped payment on February 1st, so January was her last payment.
Okay, and do you know why you didn't get any more rent payments?
She wanted her husband to pay half, and they were in the middle of divorce.
And so was the husband still living there?
No, he was not. He moved out.
Okay. So go on.
So in February, she decided she wasn't going to pay anymore, and she said for us to use the security deposit for the rent,
right?
Which I told her, as noted in the lease, that she's not allowed to do that.
It doesn't even have to be noted in the lease that security deposit is security deposit. It's not rent. But when you tell her you can't use your security deposit, that's not what it's for, what does she say?
She said, I'm going to use it, try to evict me. It'll take you 6 months to get me out.
Okay. So you filed the eviction on what date?
March 25th, 2015.
Oh, it took you a while to get the... Why did it take so long? Just life?
That was, she had, was supposed to be out the end of March, but she filed for an extension.
Show me the paperwork. How did the negotiation happen? Did you have a lawyer who negotiated things?
We had an attorney trying to negotiate.
And did that lawyer go to court, or did they just negotiate things with her?
They went to court to try to evict her, and then she never showed up at court. So the judge,
didn't you get a judgment against her?
To get her out that day, but she filed for an extension.
Did you not go to court for the day that you had the eviction? Did you not get the notice, or you just didn't go, or what?
I consulted the lawyer, and he advised me not to go to court because it's either way, you're going to get evicted. So there's no point for it. Okay, so you didn't go to court, and then they got an eviction that says you got to get out, and then what happened? You filed for an extension? I filed for an extension. Is that what the lawyer told you to do tactically, so you'd have more time? Yes, pretty much, yes. Okay, so you got the extension, and then you got out when? April 1st. April 1st. April 1st? Is that when the extension actually took her into April?
Mm-hmm. Correct.
Okay, what happened when you go in there on April 1st? How does she leave the place, according to you?
We walked in with the sheriff because we were not allowed in there, and these were the pictures to show that she broom swept the apartment.
And I suppose when you say broom swept, it's sarcastic, right?
Yes.
Okay, because that's what she had said to you, that she had broom swept.
Yep.
Okay.
And that she took all her personal belongings out.
Okay, there's a lot of belongings that I'm seeing here, including vacuum cleaners and ironing boards. What's this about?
On March 31st, I sent like a group message both to my husband and Kathleen. Can I read it?
Yeah.
It says, Mark, I have removed mostly everything from the house except your belongings. The landlord will take possession as of 4/1/15 at 12 o'clock, so you need to remove your belongings today. Kathleen, I left the keys in my mailbox if you'd like to take possessions back immediately.
Why are you telling him the same day that he has to move stuff out that you're like, wouldn't it have been better to plan that with him in advance? Or you're not on good terms with him?
It's a restraining order against the husband.
Did you have, according to you, she had a new boyfriend living in the house?
Part-time, I guess. He was there a lot. According to the neighbors, his car was always there.
Okay, so let me hear from your perspective, okay? When you call them in February and say, I'm not going to pay you rent, tell me about that.
Legally, we separated December 10th. So on the day that my ex-to-be husband moved out, he read the text message that he was going to send to Kathleen stating that he's out of the house, he's not going to pay rent, and I'm solely responsible for everything. When I spoke to Kathleen over the phone, she said she spoke on the phone to him and she explained to him that he was responsible because his name is on the lease, because I know that that's what he
I know,
read.
but then February came and it's time to pay rent, and what did you do?
January, I paid rent on my own. He left me with he took the car, he closed the bank account, overdrawn joint bank account, have a 2-year-old in the house. I work part-time.
Is he the father of the 2-year-old?
Yes.
Okay.
And
so please get to the answer to my question, which is you called her in February and told her what about the rent?
So do most tenants work the system to screw landlords over?
No, I don't think so. Usually it's the landlords trying to screw the tenants over.
You think so?
Yes, of course.
Okay. What do you think?
The same thing she thinks.
Do you really?
Yeah.
Okay. Anybody have a different opinion? I'm just curious. What do you say?
I don't know. Depends on who you're dealing with.
You know what? That feels right to me. That actually feels right to me. Going inside the courtroom.
I texted her and I said that I cannot afford, there's no way I can afford to pay full amount of $1,300. And what I could afford was the $650 of my share, and if she could contact Mark. And
so did you send the $650?
No, I didn't.
Okay,
because
why
I
not?
didn't have that money.
Because you spent it in those 2 weeks?
Because I had to pay electric bill and I had to pay gas bill.
I know, but you also have to pay rent.
Yes, but I didn't have enough money for rent.
So you say to her, at some point, I'm not going to pay you any more rent, use a security deposit.
Yes.
In fact, let me read from your answer. She told me that's wasn't what it was for, but I had no other choice and she had it, so why not use it? Because it's not for you to use, it's for her to use. You understand that? It's security deposit. It's in the event that there might be damages, where she claims that, she had to hire people to clean, hire people to move the stuff you didn't move out. Let's talk about that, because it sounds like your husband's a jerk if you're telling me the truth about everything. But here's the thing. You picked him. She didn't. They didn't. Right? You are right to say he's still responsible. So you can sue him for what happens here for his half of it, but they don't have to chase him. So now, the picture she's showing me of all that junk that's left in there, you can't leave an apartment that way. It's not just dirty, and it is. It's also got lots and lots of junk out there. That means that they have to pay somebody to move that stuff out if your ex isn't going to move it. Okay? So did you dump it?
We dumped it.
Okay, so did you have to pay somebody to dump it?
Yes, we...
Okay, so let's talk about what you're suing for. You're capped at $3,000. You are suing for $1,300 for the months of February, March, and then April, because she was there a day in April. Did you re-rent the place?
I re-rented it April 25th.
So you're suing for the prorated rent between April 1st and April 24th?
Correct.
Okay. What else are you suing for?
We're also suing for the legal fees for the eviction, suing for the cleanup and the rugs to be shampooed, and $107 for the locksmith.
The rug was really dirty. Why were the rugs so dirty?
We had 2 dogs.
I mean, look at the difference from where your sofa was covering that and your sofa's not covering that. That's pretty bad. All right, and you're asking for $100 in debris removal, $100 cleaning fee, $107 locksmith. Why is she responsible for locksmith? Why would she have to pay for it? She doesn't, is the answer. All right, and according to them, there's 2 broken windows. How do you know a tree limb in a storm didn't crack it?
It was on the inside, it was a double pane window,
I
and
need
the
to see
inside
that.
panes.
I need to see that.
It's noted in the Frank and Jim's report.
Yep. On both of them, it was the inside that was broken. All right, geez. They're entitled to $2,600 for rent for February and March. They're entitled to $1,040 in the prorated rent that they're asking for the month of April. You're going to have to pay the legal fees, and that leaves you well above the $3,000. My verdict in this case, based on the evidence that I'm seeing, is for the plaintiffs in the amount of $3,000. Now, you have a right to go file a lawsuit against your husband, or in the divorce, say, this is a debt that we both have, and you've left me paying all of it, and sue him for half of it, okay? Verdict for the plaintiff.
Thank you, Your Honor.
So the verdict goes for the plaintiff here. Step right out. The defendant on the losing side of this verdict says what on your side?
My ex-husband-to-be got the easy way out, and I'm going to try to sue him for the debt that we have together.
What's your living arrangement now? Where did you move to, and how is it going now?
I moved to a smaller apartment, and I'm looking for a second job.
Okay. All right, good luck with everything.
Thank you.
Head right around the corner this way. All right, so come on in here, and what's your feeling on this?
I'm glad justice was finally served, and, tenants really need to pay attention to, their lease agreements and stay abiding to it.
Mm-hmm. You have any sympathy for what she was going through on the personal side, or is it just business?
No, because, she had a boyfriend that had, a $100,000 car. He was advising her how to get around the law. So I think justice was served.
Okay. What do you think, Arv?
Okay, Kurt, even though security deposits are not allowed to be used for last month's rent, a lot of people do it. It doesn't make it right. The fact is there's not a lot of recourse if a tenant does that. So we got, 15 seconds left, and I have nothing else to say. You guys want to dance or something? There you go.